In the quiet corners of survival horror and RPGs, far from the chaos of boss battles and labyrinthian puzzles, there exists a sacred space, the save room, a place of refuge where players can set down their burdens, reflect on their journey, and momentarily escape the horrors lurking just beyond the door. It's a space so universal in its charm that it transcends genres and generations. From Resident Evil's dimly lit supply rooms to the dreamlike bedsides of Final Fantasy VII, save rooms represent something profoundly human, a fragile yet comforting hope in the face of overwhelming adversity. There's a reason save rooms linger so vividly in the memories of players. Entering one is like stepping into a pocket of safety, a sanctuary where the weight of the game's narrative, tension, and difficulty can't reach you. These spaces, however small, carry a distinct emotional weight. They are an intersection of comfort and melancholy, where the soothing melodies of ambient music meet the unspoken truth of temporary respite. Take Resident Evil's save rooms, for example. A lantern flickers atop a table, casting warm light across scattered supplies. The haunting yet gentle strains of the save room theme fill the air. It's a moment of peace, but it's bittersweet. You're safe, for now. But you know the horrors waiting beyond the door haven't vanished. The save room encapsulates a feeling of loneliness, of facing insurmountable odds entirely on your own. And yet, the flicker of the lantern offers a kind of hope, that you've made it this far, and you might make it further. Outside, there's terror, groaning zombies, scarce ammo, and that ever-present sense of dread. But in here you can rest. Save rooms are deceptively simple, but they're loaded with meaning. They remind us of something we've always known, but rarely articulate: the importance of pause. Life, like survival horror games, can be relentless. We push forward, often out of necessity, but also out of habit. We forget that pausing isn't just about catching your breath. It's about reconnecting with yourself. In save rooms, there's no rush. The game stops pushing, and for a moment, so can you. It's not just the absence of danger, it's the presence of peace. That's what makes these spaces so memorable. They don't just protect your character, they protect you. One YouTube comment captures this sentiment perfectly. I literally just discovered this undeniable masterpiece of an experience, for it's not a game, at least through my lenses. The first time I walked within this supply room, I was greeted with an unusual sensation of loneliness. Rather, the feeling of being completely on my own, facing a world that's possibly in turmoil, for I saw the monstrosities as I made my way throughout the mansion. The beautiful warmth of the lantern provided a sense of hope and gentleness for one's soul. It's a literal blessing in disguise when the exterior is filled to the brim with horrors that cannot be explained. I can't even describe the sensations that it provided me, but I'm sure it provided with anyone who's wandered into this beautiful experience. Just something I can't replicate into words, for it's a momentary expression or reflection for any troubled soul. Save rooms aren't just mechanical conveniences, they're emotional anchors. Perhaps what ties the magic of save rooms together most is the music. A good save room theme balances opposites. It's soothing but somber, uplifting yet tinged with melancholy. Tracks like the save room theme in Resident Evil, or the soft, harp-like tones of Final Fantasy VII's rest areas, evoke a sense of reflection. They're not just background music. They're emotional soundscapes, subtly reminding you of both the weight of your journey and the small victories along the way. There is a strange duality to this music. For many of us who grew up gaming in the 90s and early 2000s, it echoes the innocence of adolescence, a time when our biggest challenges were finishing dungeons or finding save points before bedtime. Listening to these themes now feels like being transported back to that simpler time, even as they remind us of the complex emotions we felt as young players navigating these virtual worlds. Consider this line from Final Fantasy VII. You lay down and begin to drift away to sleep. Do you want to save your game? Yes, no. In those moments, the game wasn't just a challenge. It was a companion. The act of saving became a ritual, a moment to pause and reflect, much like journaling at the end of a long day. Even modern indie games like Crow Country capture the essence of the save room. In this recent title, entering the save room evokes the same feelings of bittersweet solitude. The room's quiet ambience and its nostalgic aesthetic, complete with warm lighting and soft music, recall the best of the PS1 era, where technical limitations inadvertently created spaces that felt alive and poignant. This speaks to the timeless appeal of save rooms. They don't just serve a mechanical purpose. They evoke universal emotions of relief, reflection, and the bittersweet knowledge that peace is fleeting. For those of us who grew up during the heyday of these classic games, save rooms are more than just a gameplay feature. They're a time capsule. They remind us of evenings spent curled up in front of the TV, of late night sessions where we fought to find the next save point before our parents made us turn off the console. They're a reminder of a world where the biggest danger was a zombie just beyond the door, or a boss waiting at the end of the dungeon. The save room music, the warm glow of the lantern, the act of choosing to save. These elements are burned into our memories, inseparable from the innocence of youth and the quiet joy of gaming in the pre-digital era. It's a nostalgia that's hard to replicate, yet games like Crow Country prove it's not impossible. Save rooms are more than a relic of gaming history. They're a testament to the power of small moments. They are where tension melts into reflection, where chaos gives way to calm, where the player and the character alike can pause, breathe, and prepare to face the challenges ahead. They remind us of the fragility of safety, the beauty of rest, and the magic of gaming as both an escape and an emotional journey. When we think about nostalgia for save rooms, we're really talking about a kind of longing for the stillness they offer. In games, they're often tied to specific sensory cues: the dim lighting, the faintly melancholic music, the familiar sight of a storage chest, a bed, or a typewriter. These aren't just design choices. They're intentional signals that tell your brain it's okay to let your guard down. It's interesting how games, which are often about action and adrenaline, have taught us the value of stillness. Save rooms are a counterbalance to the chaos, much like the quiet moments in our own lives. They remind us that progress isn't just about moving forward. It's about knowing when to stop and ground yourself. And grounding is something we could all use more of, isn't it? We live in a world that doesn't offer save rooms. No glowing markers that say, "This is a safe place to pause." No soothing soundtrack to let us know we're out of danger. It's easy to get lost in the constant forward motion, to feel like there's always another zombie around the corner, metaphorically speaking. But here's the thing. We can create our own save rooms. They won't look like a dimly lit corner of the Spencer Mansion, but they can serve the same purpose. A quiet walk at dusk, a favorite chair by the window, a late-night journal entry with nothing but a cup of tea for company. These are the real-world equivalents. They are our lanterns in the darkness, guiding us back to ourselves. So, next time you find yourself longing for the safety and comfort of a save room, ask yourself, when was the last time I paused? Really paused, not just to scroll through your phone or zone out in front of a screen, but to let yourself be. No tasks, no goals, no enemies to fight. Just you existing in a moment of stillness. And maybe that's the nostalgia we're tapping into. The memory of having permission to pause. To save, yes, but also to reflect. To take stock of where we are before stepping back into the unknown. Save rooms teach us that it's okay to stop and breathe, even when the world feels overwhelming, especially when it does. They're a reminder that progress isn't a straight line. It's a series of steps, some forward, some back, and some taken standing still. The lantern's light is small, but it's enough to guide us, and sometimes that's all we need.